Growth is over. Now comes the phase of correction. Published by Radical Life Studios in the MTB report. There are periods in mountain biking when technology evolves quietly and steadily. And then there are moments when innovation suddenly becomes loud. 2025 and the transition into 2026 clearly belong to the second category. Recent developments are reshaping the direction of mountain biking as a whole. The sport is no longer a niche, it has become a movement. And like every movement, it brings internal tension with it. Analog bikes versus e-MTBs, pros versus beginners. Traditional media versus influencers. Conflict seems everywhere, yet much of it is unnecessary, often artificially amplified. A closer look reveals that the real influencers of the scene aren't individuals at all. They are manufacturers, distribution networks, bike shops and workshops, and regulatory frameworks. And it is exactly there that 2026 will mark a turning point. Chapter 1, Suspension, Innovation or Staging. Fox and RockShox are presenting new platforms, new designs, new narratives. Upside-down forks are making a comeback. Damper architectures are being rebranded. Gensam and rumors about PID-controlled and semi-electronic suspension systems continue to circulate. Test bikes with cables, sensors, and covered components appear at racetracks and industry events. Social media provides the visuals. The industry delivers the superlatives. At first glance, it feels like an innovation fireworks show. At second glance, a far more uncomfortable question emerges. What is genuine progress and what is primarily performance? The battle for technological authority. Fox and RockShox are no longer competing solely for market share. They are fighting for something more fundamental, the role of technological leader. In a market that is mechanically close to maturity, being solid is no longer enough. Leadership today must be visible. The future must be shown, even if it hasn't reached the trail yet. The Fox Podium. USD was exactly such a statement. A fork designed to attract attention. A construction meant to provoke debate. A product whose greatest achievement was visibility. Upside-down forks are not new. They existed before, and they disappeared again. Not due to ignorance, but because in everyday mountain biking, they offered little real advantage over conventional designs in terms of weight, stiffness, maintenance, or long-term reliability. Fox's return to this concept is therefore not a technical coincidence. It is a communicative signal. RockShox, evolution with the same objective. RockShox takes a more restrained approach. Instead of radical designs, the focus lies on new damper platforms, revised air chambers, and refined adjustment logic. Technically sound, understandable, but equally strategic. The progress is real, yet incremental rather than revolutionary. This is precisely why rumors about PID systems and partially automated suspension continue to resurface. Once mechanical development plateaus, electronics become the next promise, reality versus narrative. More sensors mean more complexity. More software means more failure points. More technology inevitably means more service demands. What works on test tracks or in race environments often struggles in everyday use. Not every ride is a World Cup run. Not every rider wants to manage firmware versions or interpret error codes. The community isn't anti-technology, but it is increasingly allergic to innovation for innovation's sake. Chapter 2, Super Light e-MTBs, a return to balance. Alongside the high-tech debate, a quieter shift is taking place, away from full-power e-MTB monsters and toward super-light e-MTBs. This change is not accidental. It reflects who entered the sport in recent years and why. Many new riders were not seeking technical trails or physical challenges. They were looking for experiences, outings, and range. That wasn't wrong. It opened the sport and strengthened it economically, but it also shifted its center of gravity. Large batteries, maximum assistance, and high tolerance became the industry's logical response. Bikes capable of climbing 2,000 vertical meters effortlessly, often followed by relaxed descents on gravel roads or asphalt. The athletic core of mountain biking wasn't destroyed, but it was overshadowed. Now comes the counter movement. Superlight e-MTBs demand rider input again. Climbs become engaging. Flat trails turn into adrenaline accelerators. This isn't regression, it's normalization. The cost of rediscovery, this correction comes at a price. Superlight e-MTBs are technically demanding, precise and complex to produce, and therefore expensive. At the same time, many full-power e-MTBs drift further away from genuine trail DNA, becoming showpieces rather than tools. Santa Cruz illustrates this dilemma perfectly. The Heckler became lighter and better over time, almost too good. It began to cannibalize the brand's own portfolio. This reveals an uncomfortable truth. Manufacturers must choose. A truly honest and capable bike can be more dangerous internally than a mediocre one. Unfortunate for riders, but understandable for companies. Chapter 3, Timon. The e-bike doctor, when service becomes the limitation. Technology evolves rapidly. People do not, at least not at the same pace. Motors, batteries, sensors, software. Modern e-MTBs are integrated systems. Failures are often invisible. A certification course cannot replace years of hands-on experience. Workshops are reaching their limits, not out of unwillingness, but responsibility. An e-bike failure isn't a flat tire. It's a liability issue, a safety concern, and a reputational risk. The consequences are tangible. Long waiting times, limited service availability, rejected repairs. What feels like incompetence to riders is often self-protection. More innovation without service competence is not progress. It is pressure. Chapter 4. Battery Standard EN 50604-1:2024: safety as a correction mechanism. For years, batteries were the quiet core of the e-MTB. With EN 50604-1:2024, a blind spot comes into focus. Safety built into the product, not just controlled during use. The standard forces manufacturers to improve cell selection, mechanical protection, and controlled failure behavior. Large batteries become more complex and expensive. Smaller batteries are easier to certify. This is no coincidence, and it helps explain why superlight e-MTBs also make sense from a regulatory standpoint. The standard limits extremes and stabilizes the market. By 2026, one thing is clear. Hardcore mountain bikers are gravitating either toward high-end analog bikes or lightweight e-MTBs. Full-power e-MTBs with true trail DNA will become rarer and more expensive. For riders, that means don't fall for appearances or marketing alone. Test rides matter more than ever. and open dialogue within the community is essential to preserve what truly matters: fun on the trail.